The following is a fan-based discussion. All materials discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, Saban Entertainment, and Tsuburaya Productions.
Bottom 10.
Kuro Judio.
Alright then.
Bottom 10.
The worst of the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom 10 villains of Kamen Rider. Oh, the excitement. No, there's no excitement. There's only anger.
The rage and disappointment.
Yes, that's where we're going for this one. But yes, welcome everybody to our bottom 10 Kamen Rider villains list. You've been waiting for it after you saw the top 10 last time. Joey.
You've also been asking for Marcus Rand. This is the closest you're going to get right now.
It's true.
Number 10.
We had no dishonorable mentions. They are all dishonorable.
You
bring dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow.
Number 10.
Your cow. Whatever the cow's name is. It's
Edgar.
the end from Superhero Tyson.
Because such a bitch.
Why? What was your point? I'm sad, Tsukasa. You're going to pay attention to me, so I'm going to kill everybody here.
That's an accurate recreation.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
That is exactly what happened.
The only thing you forgot was, you were mean to me. You forgot that part.
There was no point in him being the villain at the end of this movie.
No, there was a point. We had to get our big expensive CGI explosion fight.
And then at the end of it, Dan was like, alright, so look. My bad.
And like the abusive relationship
It's more like Decade goes up to him and says, hey, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be mean to you.
Can we go back to
Can we go home now? Come on, I'll buy you ice cream.
Dan's like, okay.
Okay, fine. But we can go to Toy Store too. I want you to buy me a new dolly.
Toys R Us doesn't exist anymore. Damn you!
It's okay.
They all grew up. There are no more Toys R Us kids.
Number 9.
Number 9. The villains of Ghost.
All of them.
There's no point in them. Alan had the chance, but then he got turned to the side of good. His brother was just like, hey, recycle. We're green here. And nobody else mattered. Javert was Javert. And that was the big
Kamen Rider 24601.
He just was pointless. He was a pointless character at the end of the day. He was gone for so long, I forgot he existed. And then we get the brother who's just like, I'm going to keep recycling the same monsters over and over again.
Yep.
And that's
I'm going away.
A partial problem of just Ghost in itself, with a lot of its budget being moved to the first season of Amazons. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Ghost just had no chance. And that's, the villains of it are just not interesting.
But there are still 8 that are worse.
True.
It's true.
Remember this, for people who like Ghosts, there are still 8 that are worse, including the Crisis Empire from Black RX.
Because everything in Black RX is worse.
They brought back
everything.
They're the ones who brought back Shadow Moon in Black RX.
And ruined him.
And ruined.
I don't know if I'd say they ruined him, but it's awful.
God. There's no point in them.
I've never battled alcoholism so intensely during
It's weird when a villain faction is just completely and utterly boring.
Yeah.
And that's what they were. I felt no connection to them. And then you end up trying to bring back all the other show writers and everything, and I'm just like, there's only so much you can do to save this show. Mm-hmm. This show crashed and burned a long time ago. Now you're just pissing on a carcass.
It's an accurate statement.
Yep. There are still 7 that are worse.
Yep. Number 7 is Wiseman from Wizard.
Oh, remember how you said the last villains were boring?
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy took the fucking cake. And did nothing with it because boring.
He took the cake and painted it gray.
He stood around
and said, there, my evil plan.
And then he was like, hold on, I'm also going to give him the thing to help him at the same time so my evil plan won't work. Genius!
Okay, the idea, here's the thing. Again, Kamen Rider Wizard, king of the wasted potential. The idea of a...
Was it though?
Yeah, I think so.
I think the show that talked about infinite potential a lot more had more wasted potential.
Anywho, the idea of your main villain being a double agent, he is both the mentor to Wizard and to the other guys.
The Phantoms.
Yeah.
The Phantoms, that's what they're called. And I like that idea. That's kind of cool.
Executed very poorly in this show.
Again, it's executed terribly.
Also, they watched Full Metal Alchemist and went, yes.
Yes.
We're going to do that.
Except worse.
Not Brotherhood.
Live action.
In live action.
Not Brotherhood. Just the first one.
Just the first one. Oh my god. Next. Just.
Hey, I'm Kamen Rider Rose. I'm a great Kamen Rider show. You know what's the one thing about me that really, really sucks? It's number 6, and that's Uva.
Who did nothing but bitch and moan for 30
And
episodes.
he's the other greeds are interesting, and they all die first. He is the last one left alive, and he is the most boring of all of them.
Yeah, doesn't he end up becoming infected by, like, some other core metals or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And then he dies like a bitch, because that's all he was a whiny bitch.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember him.
That's why he's
the thing.
6.
That's the thing. I remember Gamel and Mizul. They were creepy and weird and interesting. And then you have this guy who's just.
You even remember the yellow? I can't remember his name, but
Kazuri.
Yeah, Kazuri more,
Yeah.
and he died first.
Yeah, he died first, but that's the thing. He died first.
Speaking of them, they came back in Heisei Generations Final. They actually made an allusion to like Gamel and Mizul's relationship. Where like when they come in, Mizul's sitting on his shoulder.
Oh,
I just wanted to mention that.
that's kind of cute.
Next.
Kai from Dedo.
Who? Why?
What?
Where?
He came, not the fact that he came in so late, but you could tell he was a late addition. And he just, plot, we need one now.
Kai.
You're going to be here for right now, but in like 10 years or so, come back, call us, we'll make you an alternate.
Which Ultraman was he?
Or,
That's right.
he was Guy.
He was Guy. He went from Kai to Guy.
Guy just wasn't interesting. He came in, I'm going to be a super sadistic fun guy. Ha ha ha, inside of a day, but look at me, Sama.
Accurate.
He just wasn't an interesting character.
Mm.
And the fact that he just, not even so much that he came in so late, but the fact that he seemed like an afterthought.
Mm-hmm.
They mentioned him at the very beginning when Ryutaros comes in, but they just don't do anything with him for such a long time. So he just sits there and we're just like, next.
The ever fashionable Gremlin.
His storyline
Also,
makes no sense for the way that he first came in and was presented.
They were going for shock value with the twist that, he's actually he used to be a serial killer and he murdered women. And it just comes out of left field. It clashes with the tone of the rest of the show, especially with his character. And there's been no build-up or anything. Just because you have a twist doesn't make it good.
Yeah.
It's one thing to, the twist in The Sixth Sense, that's a good twist, because if you go back and you rewatch it,
It's very implied.
everything leading up to it, there are things that make sense, and you're like, okay, I can see how this works. This is just having a twist for the sake of having a twist. And it's bad.
I'm a serial killer now. But why?
Because it's creepy!
But why?
And that's as far as I got.
Get out.
Okay.
Gremlin just wasn't an interesting character. And then, I'm going to be the main villain now. Ooh.
Pretty much. He even does this every time he comes on screen.
Ta-da!
Everything they said.
It's like-
Especially, I remember when we first started watching Wizard and he got introduced, we were excited for him because we knew, they could do something like they could do something like Enter, or they could do something like Bosco with this guy. No, they did something stupid.
If they would have made him like more Enter or Bosco, where it's just like he's doing this.
Make him antagonistic from the beginning.
Yeah. He seemed like a little bit
Not random.
too happy-go-lucky. And I think that was the shock value where they were trying to go for it. Because it's like, we're going to make him a serial killer. But he's such a likable character.
Yeah.
To make him a sadistic,
Not
make
so
him a
much
sadistic
likable,
tilt.
but he's just like bubbly and happy all the
Yeah.
time.
If they would have made him more like Enter or Bosco, who seem to be having a lot more fun when they're doing this,
Yeah.
and just stuck to that, it would have been great. But we end up getting the serial killer route and just like, this seems lazy in a way.
Again, it's a twist. Oh, he's bubbly and happy. Therefore, it's a subversion of expectations that he's actually crazy and sadistic. Just because you subvert expectations doesn't make it good.
Yeah.
You have to actually deliver and build up on it in a way that makes a story work.
Yeah.
Number 3 is the natives.
A point
You
was
lost
never
to a
made.
rose.
Their point was never made with these characters. We're going to make everybody into one of us. Maybe if you were just a little bit more open about stuff. But then again, we also remember when people are like, So I sort of get where you're coming from.
But you lost to a rose.
But at the same time, it's just like, your plan sort of doesn't make sense.
No.
You would have to verify that people would actually end up wearing these things, which I guess after a little bit, when you have the majority, you can force people to do that.
Yeah.
But you also are fighting Kabuto. Now, to be fair, this is also much more of a writer's fault problem, why he didn't explain to everybody what was happening in the first place, thereby giving artificial conflict that doesn't really do anything. But that's just that show. But, it just doesn't seem to work.
No.
With the natives.
And you lost to a rose.
It bears repeating because it's true.
And stupid.
I
I don't care if the rose was thrown by Tendo motherfucking Soji. It's still a fucking flower.
I don't care if the rose was thrown by Kenji Oba. It's still a rose.
But yeah. Number 2.
Number 2, Narutaki.
There is a point to a character, right?
There's
I just
Go for it.
want to make sure that we all have a point towards a character.
Whenever you're writing a story, there are questions that need to be asked and answered. They were asked and never answered in Narutaki. Who, what, where, when, why, and what the fuck in this case.
These are questions that you teach to elementary schoolers.
And Toei went, nah.
You just know that this character is antagonistic towards Decade, but you don't.
For some reason.
We still don't know why.
Like I
and
guess
we probably never will.
I guess Narutaki knows that he's like the destroyer of worlds or something, but at the same time,
How did he come to know that?
yeah.
How did he come to get the ability to travel between dimensions? How the fuck does he know anything or do anything in the show? We don't know
If
because
he knows that Decade has the capacity to do good, why are you so hell-bent on destroying him? You're like Thanos, but awful. You know that there's potential for good things, but you're just going about it in the most awful way.
And you're written horribly.
If Narutaki got his hands on the Infinity Gauntlet, he would snap his fingers and make everyone just say the words Honore Decado.
That would be the end of it. Honestly,
And that would be it. He would.
To be fair, I would watch that movie.
So would I. To be honest, so would I.
Yeah.
If only for a laugh.
Yeah.
But he's still not the worst. Number 1 is the worst villain to Kamen Rider in all of Kamen Rider history since it started to today.
Toei.
Everything
Incorporated.
we have bitched and moaned about for the last 9 villains is their fault.
Everything we've ever bitched about on this channel, more or less,
is their fault.
They've done so...
Not
always, but for the most part.
Black RX.
Their fault.
Hibiki post episode 30.
Their fault.
Kabuto post episode 30.
Yay.
All the bad shit in Forza, all the Wizard, fucking Ghost, Amazons, for us too. Toei.
One.
We want them to be better, but they seem to make terrible decisions when it comes to some things. They're the reason we didn't get season 5 of Sailor Moon. I'm going to keep bringing it back to that.
Please do. It's just another reason to put them on the list. Why not?
If you didn't know, even though season 5 has a whole thing where the men turn into the women, Toei decided to just cancel the license overseas and just say, no, you're not going to get it.
Mine.
In this case, though, it's just like, hey, we're going to make really stupid decisions and or listen to outside groups who end up ruining shows, in the case of Hibiki.
Never listen to the fans.
It just gets bad after a little bit. And that's a problem with Toei as a whole. We can make a whole just Toei.
Don't say that because they need to listen to us right now.
We could just make a whole Toei talk just on, the mistakes that Toei has made.
It would be an hour long.
Yeah, I mean, they've made good decisions, but...
They've made a lot of good decisions, but...
The bad ones are bad in just a whole different way. When they completely change the tone of a show, they add something or take something away. It makes it a problem.
We shouldn't overlook the successes because of the failures, because there have been many, many, many successes. However...
Some of these are unforgivable.
Hibiki going in the
Hibiki post episode 30 is like the biggest one in my opinion.
It was going in the correct direction.
It was going in the correctest of directions.
That show would have beat out, like, if it had gone just like in the same tone as it did prior to episode 30, it would have beat out Kuga as my favorite show. It does not now.
Nope.
Because of the trash fire.
Because they literally just, it's like, let's
No, it's not trash fire.
everything
It's a
else.
leper fire. It's a fire. It's just a pile of leper corpses.
It is a
on
leper
fire.
colony on fire.
Yep.
If you're a leper and you happen to be watching this, it's nothing against you.
It's mostly just evolved BTS stuff that they end up doing, behind the scenes stuff.
Yep.
Where they just like, hey, we're just going to change writers now, but we have a vision. Vision gone!
All right, let's shoot this final episode. And nope.
Hold on. We have rewrites, but the show airs tomorrow.
But we just finished shooting it. We're literally in post right now.
Rewrites. But you don't understand that. Okay, listen. Rewrites. Somebody just has a problem with coming in and ruining good things sometimes. That's how we got go on,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, those are our worst villains in Kamen Rider. And for number one's case, Sentai 2.
We have a month and a half before we get to that show.
Yep.
Fuck. Everything.
Hope you're all excited.
We're not. Yeah, let us know what you think of our list, and you know.
This will be fun.
make your own list. That's always great.
As always do.
Yeah.
As always, like, subscribe, share, hit the bell. Ring that bell if you haven't.
Patreon, Facebook, Twitter.
Blah, blah, blah.
Nerd in denial.
Nerd in denial. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.